Boom. Alright, what's up you guys? It's Royce Jacob. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I want to talk to you about my number one stock pick for the month of February 2022. Now, as I'm sure you're all aware, the past few days have been exceptionally funky for the stock market. And honestly, I haven't even felt comfortable with making this video. That is until today, after seeing companies like Facebook and Spotify absolutely tanking after hours following disappointing earnings, which of course is causing the equity indices like the S&P 500 and Nasdaq to fall after hours as well. You guys, the market's been an absolute roller coaster. You guys know that I have been bearish on the equity indices like the S&P and Nasdaq for the past few weeks now, but after seeing how these mega cap earnings are playing out over the course of the week, and Amazon's still coming tomorrow, which we will talk a little bit about at the end of the video, I'm even more bearish than I once was, and therefore I'm even more bullish on some of my favorite hedges, okay, which is going to be the number one stock we're going to be talking about. Okay, so we will go over my number one stock pick. You guys have been looking at it over the course of this entire intro. You already know what it is, but I'll talk to you guys quickly about what VIXY is, and then we'll jump into a little bit of earnings talk about Facebook shares plunging 20%, talk about what happened with Google's earnings yesterday, talk about what happened with Netflix's earnings as well. And you guys, just right off the bat, seeing moves like this, where mega cap companies, where these companies that are like household names are just casually adding and subtracting hundreds of billions of dollars onto their market caps. This is an ugly market environment, you guys, and this is a dirty market. Okay, so we'll talk a little bit about this, read through over some quick key points here, and I want to give you guys my quick take on, or my 2 cents, I should say, maybe 1 cent even, on Amazon's earnings that's occurring tomorrow. Okay. So that's going to be the breakdown. After we go over this, of course, we will jump into the back and close out the video talking the S&P 500 or the SPY on the charts. Right now, there is a lot of technical and fundamental headwinds that are driving the S&P 500 down. So I'll talk to you guys, of course, about my downside price targets because I am very bearish on the SPY. All right, so before we do get into it, you guys, please hook your boy up. Throw the video a like. That really means a lot. Let me know in the comments down below what your number one stock pick of February is, if you're bullish or if you are hedged up. I pray to God you guys are hedged up. And of course, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here and want more content like this. Shout out the good old newsletter if you want to know how I'm personally trading at the very end. But if you want to check it out, there's the first link down below. Give that a shout at the end of the video though. Okay, so again, hopping into the charts. After we read through this, so number uno stock, ProShares VIX short-term futures ETF, and or ticker symbol VIXY. VIXY is an ETF that tracks the VIX and or the CBOE volatility index. To sum it up, if the S&P 500 goes up, the VIX and therefore VIXY goes down. Already scuffed it. If the S&P 500, the SPY falls, the VIX goes up. Okay, you guys could figure that one. February price target, I don't know, but a 2x wouldn't surprise me. And actually, after we jump into the SPY on the charts, we can take a look at VIXY on the charts as well. And I'll talk to you guys about, although the VIXY, it makes a lot more sense, a lot more rational sense to just look at the S&P 500, have some downside price targets there, and then just reflect those for VIXY. We can still take a look at VIXY on the charts, and I'll talk to you guys about what I'm seeing from kind of a macro speculative perspective. Okay. But again, before we dive into the charts, Facebook shares plunged more than 20% on weak earnings, big forecast miss. Key points: Facebook's earnings came in below expectations for the fourth quarter, and the company said numerous challenges are ahead in the first quarter. Inflation, supply chain disruptions at advertisers and users shifting to products that monetize at lower rates are among key issues that the company faces. So this sucks, you guys. I was bummed to see this because I did think Facebook personally was going to beat with all of the Oculus sales that appeared to happen during Christmas. I think like Oculus was the number one Christmas present of Christmas. So it's pretty surprising to me that and the fact that they shared the shares plunged 20%. I mean, the revenue in the first quarter was expected to be between 27 billion and 29 billion. Analysts were looking for that number to top 30 billion, which is definitely not a 20% margin. So the fact that we just cratered 20% shows that this market is very manic. Again, Netflix, another massive multi-hundred billion dollar company, fell 20% as well, casually shaving 150, 200 Bs off their market cap. Facebook did it. Google, almost a $2 trillion company, up like 10% in after hours yesterday, which is crazy as well, just the dynamic that's going on with these mega caps, the FAMGs, and Netflix, I guess. or Netflix isn't FANG, never mind. But regardless, you guys, just the fact that hundreds of billions of dollars are being added in and erased in the span of hours, if not an hour, is not a good sign, and that's not a healthy market sign. I said this in my newsletter, you guys, just yesterday. I might have read it in the video. I can't remember. But volatility does not signal the continuation of the bull market. Volatility is typically the signal of the end of a bull market, okay, and signals the beginning of a bear market. And definitely after today, after seeing this, again, Spotify shares were down close to 20%, probably down like 10-15% at the time of recording. This is a dirty environment, you guys. And I do think that more volatility is ahead, which once again is why good old VIXY is going to be my number one stock pick. And there are some other ones, you guys. UVXY, there's SQQ, that's a Nasdaq. SQQQ, that's a Nasdaq short ETF. There's SPXU, that's an SP 500 short ETF. But they're all pretty much the same, and I'm just going to talk to you guys about VIXY today. Again, I'll shout this out just right now. If you guys want to know exactly which puts I have, because I do have some puts on hand. I've been heavily hedged. If you guys want to know exactly what my personal portfolio looks like right now, which I do update on a daily basis and also send you guys that email newsletter rationalizing my trades, talking about my thoughts and throwing in some real-time charts as well every trading day during market hours. $15 a month, $40 for every 3 months. Really means a lot if you guys check that out. Again, it's funner to be a bull, but you can make money in bear markets as well. And in my personal opinion, that's looking like it's gonna be the case. So keep those bears running. Okay, has to happen at some point. Better sooner, better now than never, or better now than later, I guess. Better sooner than later. So again, that's the first link down below. Means a lot if you guys check that out. But if not, no worries at all. Let's dive into these charts. And remember, you guys, Amazon is announcing earnings tomorrow. And just based on what's coming through in Facebook supply chain, the dark horse for Amazon is AWS. But I actually have a friend that's saying AWS has been seeing outages over the past few months, and that I think would be Amazon's only saving grace. There might be a stock split. Was just talking to a bunch of people in the Discord about this, like speculating here and there. That link's also down below as well if you want to join the Discord. Crash 50 for $50 off. Light the Discord up a little bit. It was fun being in there today. But again, there might be a stock split. Stock split. That is some of the speculation, which would be the saving grace for the shares. But in the Discord, again, one of my buddies was saying AWS might be struggling a bit. And again, obviously there is supply chain issues as well. There's consumer-facing issues. People are just spending less money, and that is not good for Amazon. Do I think Amazon is going to be around for decades to come and probably here after I'm gone? Absolutely. Do I love Amazon? Use Amazon every day? Yes. But is this a dirty market, and do I think Amazon shares will fall on following earnings? Personally, yes, I do. Okay, so therefore Amazon shares fall because the S&P 500, because the Nasdaq or the triple Qs is market cap weighted. Therefore, the mega caps, the price action of the mega caps will heavily impact the price action of these equity indices. Okay, so let's take a look at SPY, you guys. SPY just today on the little relief rally we've had over the past week or so now. Again, saw that big sell-off, followed by that little dead cat bounce, relief rally to come up here and perfectly test a few significant trend lines that I've had in place for a very long time. And most traders are looking at these as well. Obviously, the first is going to be the line of resistance. I can't even speak today, you guys. Forgive these little tongue ties. But the first is, of course, this orange line of resistance you can see here on this short-term downtrend. All-time high back to kick off the year, as we kicked off the year back on January 4th. Touch point. Initial touch point, boom, next touch point right here, creating the line of resistance on the current downtrend. As of today, we just came up and almost perfectly tested that downtrend, while also coming to test, let's go to the dailies here and go to these macro price targets, while also retesting the previous support of this ascending channel right here. Okay, so as you can see, very long-term ascending channel dating all the way back to March of 2021. Since then, the SPY has been in this clean-cut ascending channel. When we broke out of it on December 21st. That's when I initially got bearish. That's when I started posting all of the market crashing videos. Again, saw the dead cat bounce, relief rally, not surprising, because at the same time we're testing the short-term line of resistance, we're also testing, excuse the phone ring, I'm not going to stop that, but also at the same time we're testing that short-term line of resistance on that current downtrend, we're also retesting the previous support on this long-term ascending channel as new resistance. Okay, so TA101, you guys, previous resistance will become new support, vice versa. Previous support becomes new resistance, like what we're seeing now. And I do think that with all of this resistance at play right now, downside is a lot more likely, and obviously it's even more likely from a fundamental perspective, considering Facebook, Spotify, again, Netflix, so many mega caps, so many massive tech companies are absolutely tanking following earnings. And once again, I do personally believe Amazon will disappoint on earnings as well. Okay, so when it comes to downside price targets, I do have a few key levels in mind. This orange line right here, we could see almost tested, and that's going to be the previous high over here. So reversion to the mean, you guys, classic reversion to the means, revisits of previous highs and lows. Just again, previous highs and lows on during bull markets will act as new floors. Previous ceilings will act as new floors on the way back down. Okay, so first level I'm looking at is going to be 420. So 420 is going to be the first level. You can see it acted as a pretty significant ceiling over here during April to like June even. So for a few months, it acted as a pretty significant ceiling for this SPY prior to breaking out and seeing the bull run for the rest of 2021. So 420 is going to be the first level I'm looking at, but honestly, I think it's more likely, and I mean, at this point, pretty damn likely that we do see a reversion back down to one of these levels. So whether it's this high over here, even this high down here, I will talk to you guys about why I do think it's somewhere between there, and this purple line comes into play. Purple line comes into play there. One of these highs will come into play around $400. Obviously, 400 is a pretty significant psychological even as well. So my price target to the downside for SPY is going to be from about I would say 385 to 400. And that's because these highs over here also coincide with a very, very significant long-term trend line for the SPY. And that's going to be the top side of this massive megaphone pattern the SPY has been printing for years. Okay, so the beginning of this megaphone pattern was back here in February of 2018. Since then, the SPY was in this massive megaphone pattern for obvious reasons. It's like a megaphone channel going like that. Ascending channel or descending channel even is going to be more perpendicular, more symmetrical like that. But megaphone, boom, boom, super not perpendicular at all. Okay. So anyway, this is a very significant trend line. Again, previous resistance will become new support once again, and the S&P has not yet successfully tested this very, very significant long-term trend line on its just on the charts just yet. Okay, so I do think this will come into play if we do test this. If the SPY comes crashing down by March 1st, okay, March 1st, this would come down to 390. All right, so 400, this previous high over here, 390 is actually like this high back here. So I do think that 390, a 390 to 400 SPY is in the cards. Therefore, I'm very, very bullish and will be holding the majority of my hedge positions until we see it. Let's take a quick look at VIXY again, you guys. It makes way more sense to look at VIXY, just to look at the SPY and reverse technicals on the SPY to dictate what you'll do and how you'll trade your VIXY position. But just looking at VIXY, you guys, you can see VIXY is very sporadic, but when it comes to black swans, when it comes to the market really seeing high levels of volatility, you can see over here, this was obviously the COVID pandemic. This was the beginning of COVID. So we went from 40 to a high of 260. Let's get a quick price range on that and just see what that was. So obviously, you guys, what happens now likely won't be as much of a black swan because this was completely just, this was a true black swan. This is more like a gray swan if like raising rates and stuff just start to catch up in valuations and whatnot. So maybe this is a gray swan. This is a black swan. This went up about almost 500%. But you can see back here with the other one I want to show you guys is in 2018, which is a lot more what I think this could look like. If you guys were trading during 2018, you could definitely mirror this sentiment. So back in 2018, you can see when the SPY really saw a pretty significant correction. Honestly, this one might be even more significant. From the base, VIXY, from the base of where VIXY was to the height of where it reached when the S&P fully corrected was 120%, which is obviously over 2x. So if we mirror that 120% from here, that would bring us to, so from the low right now, 120% would take us to about an up about $18 from current levels into about a $35 VIXY. So do I think we can see a $35 VIXY, which would translate into over 2x, of course, 120% over 2x? That wouldn't surprise me at all. that'd be very exciting. But if you want to take technicals into play, again, those previous floors become new ceilings, ceilings floors, vice versa. If we do see this previous floor for VIXY, we spent a lot of time all the way from December of 2020 to March of 2020. So for 3 months, we are hovering at this level. If we really start taking off, if we see kind of a gray swan, a dark gray swan come into play, I do think it's very possible to see a $50+ VIXY, which would translate into over a 3x. All right. So, again, am I guaranteeing this? I don't know. Am I bearish on the equity markets and the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq? Absolutely. And therefore, once again, I am bullish on VIXY and will likely be holding VIXY and all other hedges in my portfolio until we reach these price targets. Again, if you guys want to know exactly when I'm going to be selling, when I'm going to be repurchasing some of my favorite small caps and hyper growth shares, after all the dust settles, what I'm doing in my crypto portfolio as well. First link down below. Again, it means a lot if you guys check that out. But if not, I appreciate you watching right now. We'll call it there, you guys. I'll see you downstairs in the comments to talk about whatever you guys are feeling like. And yeah, until next time, always remember, take action, make waves. Peace.